So from today, we are going to start string calculations in Tableau. So as we already completed basic string calculations, but let me anyhow remind them again. Okay, so we already started Startswith, so which can act as a Boolean function if we are using straight away. So yeah, so it should contain a string. So here I am taking customer name, comma, a, so which gives me customer names whose names are starting with A. Okay, so yeah, so like this, we can bring this Startswith into the view and apply it to true, so that we get the output of this one. And along with that, we also learn some of the operators which are and or operator. So we can use or. If we are using or, it will check either for this or this. So it will execute the first condition first, and if it is true, automatically it will go to the second row. And if it is not true, then only it will go to the second condition. So here we are going to change this as A to B. So we are going to get the names of starts with A as well as B. So like this, we can use or condition, or so when I am applying, I am going to get the names of starting with A or B. So likewise, we can use an AND operator here, and we can attach them, all of them in one brace, so that this is a whole pack. And we can start with ends with customer name, and my substring is S, or ends with customer name, comma, R. So let me enclose these in the braces. So now I have a complete calculation where I am using starts with along with the ends with. So now I am going to get the names which are starting with A or B, and either they are ending with S or they are ending with R. So here, if we are taking this Andy Rater, we have names starting with A and ending with R. And we have names starting with A and ending with S. So this is how we are going to get. Now, again, if I want to add something else into the AND condition, I can write contains customer name, comma. So I am going to say HON in their name. And if I'm clicking on apply, so I'm going to get name starting with A or B or and if they are ending with S or R, and it contains HON in their name. So this is Anthony Jacobs and Anthony Rawless. So these like this, we can use these conditions which we already discussed in the previous classes. So now we are going to start with left function in Tableau. So generally, we'll be dealing with string calculations with these majorly used string functions, which is left function. So left function trims or gets the left part of the string. So here I am taking customer name and giving the number of characters which I want to split that from the actual string value. So currently I am taking left of 1. So I'm clicking on apply. So I got the first letter of the string value here, which is customer name. And likewise, if I want to increase this, I can put 2 and I can get the first 2 letters of the string values in the visualization using the left function. So if the requirement is to convert our string values into based upon this, we can convert rest of the string values using remaining calculations. For now, we have completed left function. So let's go with the right function, which has the same property, but it will take the right side part of the string. So yeah, we have right of customer name, comma 1. So which is going to extract the right part of the complete string. So which is, yeah, for each name, we got the last alphabet of each string. Like this, we can trim to any part. So I'm taking 5 here. So generally, this happens when we are dealing with this string values, but these left and right functions can be much useful. Let me take a real-time case wherein I have order ID here. And if you observe the phenomena, like if you observe the similarity between all the order IDs, you are able to see that all the left 2 cases of each order ID is having country name, like country code, and to the complete right side, all the 6 alphabets to the right side, or all the 6 characters to the right side are having order ID actually. And the middle one is the year of order which has took place. So it is a combination of country code, year, and order ID. So if you want to get this split of the country code, we can use left function also, and right left of order ID, which is a real-time use case to get the country. So I'm going to use and name this as country code. But the only condition here is whenever you are using the calculation or similarity, you have to have all the values, not like most of the values. You have to have all the values exactly similar where the country code is occupying first 2 alphabets of the order ID. So you have to make sure that every member of the order ID is having country code on the first 2 characters. Then only you have to use this. Otherwise, we already learned we can use split function. So let's look at the split function also. You can straight away right click on this and use the split here, transform, split and custom split. But we also have split function also here. So like this, we can use split, split of customer name, comma, my delimiter is this hyphen, and my token number is 1. Okay, let's place this inside the quotes. And if I'm clicking on this, apply. Okay, I have written customer name here. So I have to write order ID. So I'm able to get the first part of the split. And if I have this one, second delimiter, then I'm going to get the country, year of the order. So like this, we can use split function or this one. So in some cases, we cannot use split function if there is no delimiter. So let me take an example wherein if I have an order ID without delimiter, then I cannot use a split function. then obviously I have to go with the left function only to get the country code from that. Likewise, if I want the order ID, I have to go with the right function to get the similar output. So yeah. So for doing that, or to generate another example of the same, so let me use another function which is a replace function. So what I'm doing is in this order ID, I'm going to replace this hyphen with empty space. So now you are able to understand, right? So when you have your order ID like this, then you are left with no other option to use left function or right function to extract the country code or the actual order in the order ID. So likewise, you can use the replace function to replace a constant value which is throughout the string, and you can replace with empty space, or you can give one space so that you'll get like this. So now you got the space where delimiter was present. But if you don't want any space and continuous, then you can directly give zero space in the replace option. So now we are going to go with the next important string calculation, which is mid. It is mostly used and it can function the work of both left function and right function in most of the scenarios. So this mid function, let's take example. It will also occupy the string value. The input of all the string calculations which I'm mentioning now are going to take only string values as input. So here now I'm taking mid of country code. So here I'm taking only this value. So here I'm saying get me the value. I'm going to get the year value out of this entire string. So I know for sure that my year value is starting from third alphabet, and from there I have four continuous fields. So I'm going to state is as 3, comma, length is 4. And let me maximize this. So if I'm clicking on apply and bringing this into the view, so I am able to extract the year function, which is in the middle itself. So generally, if we are not having the mid function, what we have to do, we have to cut the first part and form another string. Let's say we don't have a middle function, right? Let me remove this, and still I want to get the year part in this country code, not actual header already in this country code. So if I don't have the mid function, what I have to do? Left of country code, comma 6, because I want all the first 6. So yeah, here we are taking year of order ID. Let me apply this, and we are going to bring this here. So I got all the 6 alphabets where they are containing country code and year of this one. So on top of it, I am again going to write right function to get the same output, which is a nested calculation now, because we are using two functions in a single calculation. So first I have extracted the first 6 digits, and now I'm going to take the right part of the 6 digit and still get my output. I am showing this example because we can get the output required using a lot of framing of the logic. So for that purpose, we are discussing this logic. If we don't have a mid function also, then also we can get the outputs like this, but mid is doing the same straight away. Okay, so yeah, we have gone through left function, right function, and mid function. So the next function will be the lower and upper. So here I can take straight away my string value, which is country code, and if I'm applying on that, so I'm going to convert all the letters into smaller ones or case, smaller case, which is a lower case. So we are going to name it as lower order ID, and applying on this, and I'm going to remove these. Okay, so for the same function, if you want to create higher, we can use uppercase of this one, which is a string value, and still convert all the output into the upper cases. So I can bring this, and now I have converted everything into the uppercase. See, so like this we can do. And if my requirement is to only convert, let's go with another example wherein first I am taking customer name here into the view, and I'm converting every alphabet into the lower case. Lower of customer name, applying this and bringing this into the view. So I got all the names in the lower cases, right? So there is one more thing. If you don't remember any of the names of the string calculations, the best thing to do is you can select this calculation, open this calculation, and on the right side, if you don't have this option, you'll have a small arrow which is highlighted here. Let me mark that. So it is here exactly, a small mark. So there you can select that and click on that, and then you will be able to view them. So here we are, as we are dealing with string functions, so these are the different types of functions. So when you have something and if you don't remember anything, you can just click on these functions. As we have discussed, contains, so this was already given with an example. You will be given with an example so that you can make use of these just mentioned here. And there are very few functions which are not listed here, but you will get most of the functions straight away available here. So yeah, and now our current example is we had discussed lower and upper. So now if our customer names are like this, and I want to make them the first alphabet of every part of the name as capital and rest of the name in the small, Tableau has recently created this function or added this feature, which is a proper function. Prior to that, we did not have this option. So I'm going to use straight away a proper function on already existing lower customer name. And I'm going to get the first alphabet of every word in the customer name as capital and rest of the names as small. So let me apply this and bring this into the view. Now I have got the actual customer name, how it was. It was so like this. We can if we have all the names in the lower cases, we can convert them using the proper function here. Let's say previously when we didn't had this proper, and I still want to get this output. Okay. Let's discuss that scenario, because you have a lot of scenarios where you will be dealing in the examples which I'm going to give you. There you have to create calculations, assuming you don't have proper function. So if I want to get the same output using the proper function, I can use split function. First thing is to use split. Lower customer. So here we are going to use split. You can write a calculation or you can straight away use that. So currently I am using split function here, using this lower customer name, comma, and we are going to give delimiter as space. So first space, comma 1, token number is 1. So again, I'm going to use plus function here, because we can add strings like this. So yeah. And again, I am using plus and this one. So if I am having a delimiter of space, and if I am having a customer name with only 2 names, it will get satisfied here only. And if I am having 3 set like this divisions, then I am going to get 3 parts here. So let's click on that. So whenever you are doing the calculations, and if you want to know without applying this straight away what is the output of the first part, you can select them and directly bring into the rows and see what is the output. So yeah, like this, you can select the part which you want to check in the visualization, and even without applying also, you can know what is the output of the calculation which you have written. So if I am taking the third part, so there are only few names which are having the third parts here. Let me scroll down. So there are very few names, or yeah, we don't have any name which is containing third part. Okay, we can leave that. So we can leave until this part only, and remove this plus one also. So now I have got a first part and second part, right? So on top of that, I want my first part to be first alphabet of my string part to be capital and rest of the name to be small, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the left function first, and first let me copy this. On top of it, I'm going to use left function, comma. So as I'm going to use split here of the first alphabet, I'm going to use first one, and then I'm converting that into uppercase. So this is how generally we will be building the calculations here. And after this split, my first character was converted to uppercase. Now I want to add the rest of the name, leaving the first one. So here I want the name which does not contain the first character, right? So for that purpose, I am going to give as, okay, for this we need one more thing, which is length of the calculation. Okay, let me maximize this. We have to calculate the length here. So length function is the function which will get the total length of this string here. So here I'm going to get the length of this one using the length function. And let's the check value here using length of split of customer name, comma, delimiter is space, and my number is 1, first delimiter, right? So yeah, we have to have another braces here. So let me get the value first. So as it is not a dimension, it is not a measure, I am going to convert this into dimension and to discrete. So my first part for each name has been calculated automatically. What I've done was I have just taken what was actually available here straight away, and now I calculated the first part of the name, which is first name. I am calculating the length of the first name here using this function. So as I have took out my first value here, that is first character, so I can take -1 here and bring this into the view, and let me convert this into dimension. Just for checking purpose, I want to make sure whether my calculation is working fine. So for all the names, I got a character minus from from my output. So here I'm going to use this as my right part, which is going to extract my complete right part. Right of my first part. So actually we used to, okay, we can take this split, comma, this output. Okay, let's check where is the issue. So let me apply this once. So yeah, let's go with another calculation where we are going to check only this part. So generally in real time cases, we will be writing the calculations like this. I want to show you this because you need to frame your own logic to clear the calculations in Tableau. So now I have got the entire output. Let me bring this into the view. Okay. So when you are looking at this, I got the second part here, right? The first letter is left out and I got the second part. So let me copy this again and go to our previous calculation, which is currently in red, and replace this part, entire part, with this. And now my calculation is valid. So if I am using this split lower, and let's remove all this in the view. So now I got Aaron as capital and the second one is in continuous. So like this, you have to write for the second one also. This is the homework for you to use like this only. It is much easier when you are straight away using a split calculation, but I want you to frame the logic, to learn to frame the logic. So for the second part of the second name, you have to write the logic by yourself today as a practice one. These min and max functions are listed in string functions. They are available for all types of, even with the date fields. They are available for the integer fields and measures also. So these min and max functions are universal in Tableau. So by universal, I mean you can apply on any type of database, but the output will change for each type of data type. So let us look at the customer name currently. So if I am saying min, it is going to get all the value. Generally, let's look at the syntax first. So it will take min of either one expression or between two or two expressions. You can choose either one or two only, but let's see what happens if we have a third expression. So first you are going to write min of customer name. So by this you will understand clearly how the calculations will exist. So your min of customer name, I am naming it as min customer. So generally, what we will be expecting is we are going to get the out of 800 customer names, we are going to get the min customer based on the database order, right? That is the expectation. But this is the actual scenario wherein you will understand how this min is going to work. It is going to work for each row like this, and it is going to give the same value. But as expected, it did not give the value because this calculation is working at the level of each row. That's why we weren't able to get the actual min in the entire 800 marks. But instead it has gone through every row, and in each row the same name will be the minimum name. So that's why it has given the same name as output. But whenever I am going with the second expression, let's say I have customer name, comma, order ID. Now we have two expressions here. So let's click on apply and go with the min of customer name again. And let me bring order ID here so that you will be easily comparing. So we have order ID as US. So we have to go to at least at the level of US. So whenever my name, whenever my name was Z and my order ID was US, I was able to get the order ID. Otherwise, I was getting the customer name. So this is how we can use between the two expressions and get min of the value from both the expressions. So we have two strings here, which is customer name and order ID. Now I have taken min of that. So same max function also executes in the same way. If I am clicking on max, it will select the max one of the output of both the expressions. And let's say if I have another string value, let's take city. In the visualization, and now my requirement is to get min of all the three values. Like I have to get a new row which is min of either customer in the order ID or city for the respective ones. So as in this min and max function, we cannot add like this city into the min expression because it will accept only two in the inside an expression, either one or two. So if I want to get the max value out of it, what I have to do is I have to write a max expression on top of it. And this whole expression, I am considering it as one expression because this is going to give me one output, and comma, I'm going to write city here like this, and then I can get the max output of it. So if I'm clicking on apply, I'm going to get the max one. So yeah, sometimes we'll get the city where if it is max. So here in this case, out of it is starting with C. This is also starting with C. So that's why my city name got into the output here. So out of 3 expressions, I was able to get the max output for each row. So that's how Tableau executes the calculations, and we can leverage this max and min functions. We generally will be using very rarely like this, but the scenario of getting 2 or 3 expressions will vary when you are dealing with measure values. So that we will have a practice in the scenarios. And let me know if you have any doubts on Tableau in the comment section below. Until next video, happy visualizing.